Hello again, and welcome back to these sessions on experiencing meditation, where we explore the dynamics of our own mind, we explore the practice of meditation, and we also explore deeper understandings and insights in who I truly am. Many of us, when we use the word I, when we think about ourselves or who am I, we introduce ourselves in a almost a bit superficial way. We say our name, we say where this body was born, we say where we live, we may be saying what job we do and what kind of education we have. But we rarely introduce ourselves by our qualities or by our nature. For example, if you are an honest person, you wouldn't say in your first encounter, introduce yourself like that. Or you're a respectful person, or you're a stressed out, angry person. We don't introduce ourselves like that. But most of the time we introduce ourselves by some outer characteristics, which does not really tell much, if anything, about the real self. Now let's use today's session to explore a bit more about this real self and the qualities and the characteristics of the real self, but also what has happened to us over time that we not necessarily live our innate nature, live our true values. Now, most of us, if not all of us, have these two sides within us. There is this little angel, the one with higher values, noble intentions, one who loves peace, one who longs for harmony, the one who appreciates and loves. But there is this other side within us that is sometimes a bit greedy, sometimes maybe a bit jealous, a bit aggressive, or arrogant, or right out violent, or lustful, or dishonest, or has certain fears. So most of us have these two sides within us, the little angel and the ego part within us, that lower nature. Now, spiritual knowledge tells us, and this is very good news, the angel within those higher qualities, those higher values, that is our innate nature. That is our original nature. That is what and who we eternally are. Those are characteristics of the soul in his soul-aware state, a spiritually awakened state. Those characteristics will come alive and will be manifested. That is innate, that is original. And this lower nature, these lower tendencies, these lower inclinations, they crept in over time because of our lack of understanding, lack of broader perspective, because our intellect and our wisdom has weakened. And worldwide, we have created a society, a world culture that doesn't nurture wisdom, that doesn't nurture the intellect, that doesn't nurture the higher nature. And so these lower tendencies have taken over. And so sometimes this angel is very little, and his ego and his bit ugly monster inside is as if ruling. Meditation is about nurturing the intellect again, nurturing our higher wisdom, so that we can allow that more noble nature, that more noble character to become strong again and manifest. So let's go over to the board and try to clarify this with some sketches again. So just a quick recap of what we have mentioned in the previous sessions. There is the body and the things around the body, but we are the invisible being operating the body, the real I, the soul, the invisible experiencer, the being who is immortal, the being who is timeless, the being who is beginningless and endless, the being of consciousness. And we temporarily use the body to express, to interact, to experience. But there will come a time when we will leave the body again and go on. Now, when we are aware of this bigger picture, when we are aware of ourselves as spiritual beings who are immortal, when we are aware of ourselves as players who use this costume to play the game, when we know that we are imperishable, that we have come here to give and to share, there is a deep sense of feeling secure. No matter what happens here, even if the body goes, I continue to exist, and I remain who I am, a spiritual being, a being of light, a being of consciousness. I remain a being of peace with innate higher qualities, with innate virtuous nature. When I feel secure, that is when I can be internally at ease and peaceful. Then I don't feel anything here is mine or anything here defines me. So if it is there, it is nice. If it's not there, I'm still okay. That type of peace. I don't want to own anything here, or I don't desperately grab things here. An inner peace. I will use the things here, but use it with certain principles and certain values and with respect. And I will interact with others with the intention to give rather than to take, to share rather than to beg. So this awareness of the self as an invisible spiritual being who is timeless and who is innately divine, innately higher nature, a being with angelic potential, the angel. When I'm in that awareness, I am secure. And then that higher nature of peace, of love, of contentment, of freedom, of equality, of justice will naturally manifest. But what happened to us over time, and because of our world culture, our society that we have created worldwide, we have started to believe I am this. I am a female, I am a male, I belong to this nationality, or I belong to this religion, and this is mine, and these people are mine, and this is mine, and this is mine. We enter into a mindset where we want to own things, where we want to possess things, and where we also start to deeply identify with things that are temporary. And when we get into this mode of me, and mine, we start to separate from each other. This is mine, not yours, so don't touch. This is me, and it has nothing connected with you. We start creating boundaries and division. And we start to identify with the body, with the appearance of the body, with the color of the skin, with the gender. Soul, the real self, the being of consciousness, is beyond gender, is beyond ethnicity, is beyond skin color, is beyond religion. It is a being of consciousness who has this innate nature of peace, of freedom, of love, of deeper contentment. And we come here as players to play this game of human life, and we play it well when we manifest that higher nature. But if we get into these attachments, means possessiveness and wanting to own and saying my, we get into a fear of losing. And anything here is temporary, so destined to not be there forever. So sooner or later, it will not be there. So that creates a deeper sense of insecurity. And insecurity brings out our lower nature. It brings out stress, it brings out anxiety, it brings out fear, it brings out anger, it brings out arrogance, and it brings out injustice and division, divisiveness. So this ego and this identification with something we are not, identification with something that is temporary, that is the root cause of all pain, of all problems at the individual level, but also collectively worldwide. Now, meditation and a spiritual journey is about transcending this ego, all these false identities that we have created based on limited things, based on perishable things. Meditation is about transcending all these false identities and coming back to the awareness that we are invisible beings of light, innately bodiless, with higher divine nature, with angelic potential. And when we come into that awareness, we can manifest that. And when we do that, our life will be different. And when we do that collectively, our world will be different. So this is an invitation for you to explore this beautiful journey of getting to know yourself as this invisible, immortal, free, peaceful being of light. There is one beautiful quote from Rumi, which I remind myself regularly of, and it is, yesterday I was clever and I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise and I am changing myself. And this is very useful to reflect on. But if I change myself, I am part of the world. So if I change myself, at least part of the world is changing. And my contribution to the world will become one that is for the better. So let's have some minutes of meditation with this aim to put our own thinking right. Let the breathing be regular. Inhale and become aware of how air is pushed out of the lungs on exhalation. And how air is pulled into the lungs on inhalation. Just create that more of refined awareness even of the bodily functions. Inhaling the air and it spreads out through the lungs. And exhale. Old air is pushed out of the lungs. Also be aware of the heartbeat and a sense of appreciation and gratitude for this body. Such a gift from nature for me to use. And whilst this awareness is becoming stronger, I am also reminding myself that everything physical is temporary. And so withdrawing the intellect's attention away from this external world, withdrawing it from the sense experiences, withdrawing it from the stories of the past that sometimes keep on spinning in my head, drawing the attention away from the different situations and the roles, and become more and more aware of the invisible, the non-physical, the inner being, the one who is experiencing it all. And the image in the mind is of a tiny star, subtle, serene, timeless, a tiny point, a living presence, invisible. This is the real self. And the living star is a traveler, a visitor in this world, a visitor in this body, not of this world. And so the special virtue is to be able to let go. A traveler appreciates but doesn't get into bondage or entanglement, doesn't want to own or possess, just appreciates. Every interaction is a gift, a learning, but I don't want to own or desperately possess. And it is a long journey, so there are many, many gifts. Every moment is a gift. Such a variety of experiences. And just try and grasp this mind of an invisible traveler through time, through space. We travel and hold these feelings of appreciation and freedom as you continue on your journey.